Are you guys ready for some sweet Nazi killing action? Well, you came to the right place. BJ Blazkowicz is back in Wolfenstein II, the new Colossus, and now he must defend the United States of America against total fascism implemented by its Nazi occupiers, including the sadistic Frau Engel, who also makes a return. The game releases October 27th for PS4, Xbox One, and PC, and here's everything you need to know before you go. Wolfenstein II is a sequel to 2014's Wolfenstein: The New Order, which was a soft reboot of the franchise. The New Order, you might remember, was set in an alternate Earth where the Nazis won World War II, conquered Europe, and then crushed any and all resistance. In The New Order, the game's hero BJ Blazkowicz is defeated by the evil scientist General Death's Head and then wakes up after a coma in the year 1960, where Nazis pretty much run everything. Blazkowicz partners with rebel fighters and ultimately triumphs over Death's Head, but it appears as if Blazkowicz dies at the end of the game. Wolfenstein 2 starts with some good news though. Blazkowicz is still alive, but he's in a wheelchair, and you start the game off by escaping a Nazi-controlled base. In the course of the game, Blazkowicz travels to America, specifically New Orleans, Roswell, New Mexico, and Manhattan, as he gathers members of the resistance to fight back again against the Nazis. Oh, and he's also expecting twins with his lover and fellow Nazi killer Anya, so yeah, he's got his work cut out for him in more ways than one. Interestingly enough, if you played The New Order, you can decide at the beginning of the new Colossus to make your old choices in that game canon, meaning some players will have slightly different stories, minus certain characters that may or may not have made it through the first game, depending on what you did. It does appear that the main villain will be Frau Engel, the Nazi leader, who is back and all plastic surgeryed up after the events of the first game. One more important thing to note, the game is single player only, which is a rarity these days. The game's narrative designer Tommy Tortzen Bjork said that having multiplayer would detract from the story, so they didn't include it, which has never stopped other developers, but hey, good on Machine Games. Gameplay-wise, the big new addition to Wolfenstein 2 is mechs and heavy armor, since BJ can't walk. We've seen him in trailers walking around in a big metal suit and also behind the controls of a huge robot. It's not exactly Mobile Suit Gundam, but it's pretty cool. Like in the first game, you'll be able to play in a variety of ways: stealth, tactical, or all-out guns blazing. Oh, and for even more gruesome Nazi deaths, you'll get a hatchet this time instead of a knife. Speaking of weapons, you'll still have shotguns and pistols, not to mention flamethrowers, and even a laser blaster capable of turning Nazis into a fine Nazi dust. You'll be able to dual wield and upgrade weapons, so feel free to experiment with different combinations of Nazi killing. Oh, and there's a robot flame-spitting dog and an electricity cannon too. Normal. You'll need them all to kill the game's bosses, who are apparently huge according to the developers. The game also features an improved commander system, which returns from the first game. Like before, you'll have to find the commanders in a level and kill them before they notice you in order to prevent them from calling in reinforcements. That's even more important in Wolfenstein 2 because in the new Colossus, the commanders can now call for reinforcements several times, not just once or twice, which makes them even more important to kill. Oh, and every commander now carries an Enigma code, which will give you important information according to the devs, so keep that in mind. As for DLC, the game's $25 season pass will come with 4 DLC episodes. In the first one, called The Adventures of Gunslinger Joe, you'll play as former pro football quarterback Joseph Stallion, great name, and kill your way through hordes of Nazis in the ruins of Chicago, as well as the vastness of space. Gotta have space in your game. The second DLC, The Diaries of Agent Silent Death, is more stealthy, as the title would suggest. You'll play as an assassin and infiltrate Nazi bunkers in California to foil a secret West Coast plot full of kale and avocados. The third DLC, The Amazing Deeds of Captain Wilkins, has you playing as an Army hero captain, Gerald Wilkins, who is on a mission to fight the Nazis in Alaska to dismantle something called Operation Black Sun, which is ironic, because the sun always shines in Alaska. There's also 4th DLC pack called Episode 0 that introduces you to all 3 of the DLC heroes, and it's free if you pre-order the season's pass. Well, that sounds just like a lot of fun. As for specific features on consoles, the game will get Xbox One X enhancements and will support 4K Ultra HD resolution. PS4 Pro support is promised, but no word yet on what that means. Meanwhile, the devs also promised that the game will have uncapped frame rates on PCs. Well, that about wraps it up, everything we know about Wolfenstein II, the new Colossus. Are you planning to pick it up? Let us know in the comments. And for all of your gaming news, be sure to like this video, and if you're new around here, subscribe to the Know.
United States of America, tonight, we the free people of the resistance ask you to become one of us. Did you forget? They beat us! They murdered us! They executed us! But guess what?